The developer tools in a lot of browsers are going to be a really good help when you're working with JavaScript and JSON. They understand JavaScript objects and can help you figure out how to access, delete, or modify your JavaScript variables. So let's take a look. I have a document open on the left-hand side, and on the right, I have that same document open in Google Chrome. To access the console, I'm going to right-click and select Inspect Element. Now, this takes me to the developer tools, but it's going to open them up in the Elements tag, which just shows you the HTML structure. You want to get to the console, which is under this triangle right here at the very bottom called console. If your window was actually bigger, you would be able to see it all in one line like this. When my window is really small, you have to go to this double triangle here and go all the way to the bottom and select console. Now, this is just giving you a command prompt. And what you can do here is just type in the variable that you want to access. We only have one variable in our script called info. So we can just type that in and hit enter, and it's going to return the value of that variable. So in this case, it's saying that this is an object, and you can hit this triangle right here and take a look at what's inside the object. Now, you may notice that the order of our elements is different than JavaScript's order of elements as it's displayed in this developer tools. And that's something good to note. So you can see that in our version of the script, which is on the left-hand side, we have first the full name, then the title, and then the links. But in JavaScript version of the object, we have full name, links, and then the title. It really doesn't matter how JavaScript organizes the element, except sometimes you may want to retrieve things in a specific order. Now, if you open up the links, you can see that each of the links is in an object, and those are actually going to be in order because this is stored in as an array. So that's kind of something important to note. When you want to store something in a specific order, make sure you do it in an array. So let me show you how to access things. All we have to do is type in the variable name and then use dot notation to get to one of the elements, like full name. And notice that it's auto-completing for you. So I can hit the tab and then return, and it's going to show you the value of that variable. So I can access the title by doing the same thing with the title right there. Hit tab to get to the end, hit enter, and I can access any of the links. I'll open these up so I can see them. So I'm going to access this second element, which has an index of 0. And to do that, I'm going to come down here and say info.links, and then open parentheses, put in the index, which in this case will be 1. That's the second element. First element is 0. And then type in the object's key, which is Facebook, and it's going to return the URL. I can also modify any variable. So I can say take info.fullname and make it equal to something else, like say Eric Villalobos. And now that variable will have that value. So let's check just by typing that in again. And sure enough, it's been changed. That's only been temporarily changed. The actual value of the variable in our script is still going to be whatever it used to be. So if I refresh the document, I'm going to hit the up arrow. That brings in the last command. And now you can see that it's been reset to whatever it used to be. So let me take a look at that object again. I'll say info, open up the object again. I can also delete any one of the elements. So I can say delete, and then in parentheses, info.title, and just hit return. It returns true. So now if I type in the object, you can see that that element will be gone. So this is not really doing any permanent damage, but it's a great way to play around with the object. Make sure you can access the specific variable. Sometimes with JavaScript and JSON, it's a little bit tough to figure out how to get to a specific element. Developer tools are a great way to explore your JavaScript and JSON objects and make sure they've been formatted properly. You can also test out how to access specific elements in the JSON or the JavaScript object.